Welcome to Millionaire Reader Club. Today, we're exploring Read People Like a Book by R.H. Rizvi. If this summary resonates with you and you'd like to read the complete book, you can buy it through the link given in the description below. In this book, we're exploration of human behavior, nonverbal communication, and psychological insight. The central idea of the book is simple yet powerful. Understanding people is not a mysterious gift, but a learnable skill. By observing facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, eye contact, personal space, personality traits, and emotional patterns, anyone can become more perceptive, empathetic, and socially intelligent. The book progresses logically from the basics of first impressions to advanced applications such as detecting deception, understanding personality types, improving emotional intelligence, strengthening relationships, and using people-reading skills for leadership and influence. Throughout, the author emphasizes awareness, observation, ethical responsibility, and continuous practice. What follows is a detailed chapter-by-chapter summary. Introduction: The hidden language of human behavior. The book opens by challenging the belief that reading people is reserved for detectives, psychologists, or gifted individuals. Instead, it frames social perception as a skill that can be developed through conscious observation and understanding of psychological principles. The introduction stresses that human communication extends far beyond spoken words. Much of what people communicate comes through nonverbal signals, facial movements, posture, gestures, tone, proximity, and eye behavior. These signals often reveal deeper emotions and intentions than speech alone. The author presents a powerful idea. People may hide their thoughts verbally, but their bodies often reveal them. Mastering this silent language allows one to detect discomfort, dishonesty, attraction, confidence, insecurity, and engagement. The introduction also sets an ethical tone. The purpose of reading people is not manipulation, but improved connection, empathy, and effectiveness in personal and professional life. Chapter 1: The Psychology of First Impressions. This chapter examines how rapidly we form judgments about others, often within seconds. These immediate evaluations shape relationships, career opportunities, and social interactions. How first impressions are formed. First impressions arise from appearance, facial expression, posture, voice, initial words, environmental context. The brain uses mental shortcuts to process information quickly. From an evolutionary perspective, early humans needed to quickly determine whether someone was safe or dangerous. That survival mechanism remains active today. Key psychological concepts: the halo effect. When we perceive one positive trait, for example, attractiveness or confidence, we tend to assume other positive qualities: intelligence, kindness, competence. Conversely, a negative first cue can unfairly color all subsequent judgments. The primacy effect: information received first tends to weigh more heavily than later information. Once a first impression is formed, people interpret new information in ways that reinforce it. Stereotypes and biases. Cultural conditioning and past experiences shape quick judgments. These shortcuts can be helpful, but often lead to inaccurate conclusions. Nonverbal signals in first encounters. Eye contact, posture, facial expression, and tone heavily influence how someone is perceived. Why first impressions matter? They influence hiring decisions, romantic interest, social inclusion, leadership perception, trust formation. The chapter concludes by offering practical advice. Dress appropriately for context. Maintain open posture. Listen actively. Smile genuinely. And remain authentic. Chapter 2: The power of nonverbal communication. This chapter dives deeply into nonverbal communication and explains why it often carries more weight than words. Types of nonverbal communication. The author categorizes nonverbal signals into several groups: body language, posture and movement; facial expressions, gestures, eye contact; proxemics, use of space; haptics, touch; paralanguage, tone and vocal elements. Each of these communicates emotional states, intentions, and attitudes. Context matters. A gesture cannot be interpreted in isolation. Crossed arms might signal defensiveness or simply comfort. Interpretation requires awareness of the environment, cultural norms, relationship dynamics, baseline behavior of the person, improving nonverbal skills. To become skilled at reading people, observe clusters of behaviors rather than single signals. Compare behavior to the person's normal patterns. Pay attention to inconsistencies between words and body language. The chapter emphasizes emotional intelligence as the foundation for accurately reading nonverbal cues. Chapter 3. Facial expressions. The window to emotions. Facial expressions are the clearest indicators of emotion. Universal emotions. Certain emotions are universally expressed: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, disgust. Each emotion links to specific facial muscle movements. The facial feedback hypothesis. Expressions don't just reflect emotion, they influence it. Smiling can improve mood, frowning can reinforce negativity. The brain and emotional recognition specialized brain areas help detect facial cues, especially threats. Digital communication, online communication reduces subtle cues, increasing misunderstandings. Emojis and video calls help but lack full nuance. Accurate facial reading strengthens empathy and reduces conflict. Chapter 4. Body language, postures, and gestures. The body communicates internal states. Posture signals upright, confidence slouched, insecurity, leaning forward, interest, leaning back, evaluation or detachment, gestures. Open palms signal honesty. Pointing may signal aggression. Repetitive gestures can show nervousness. Cultural differences, body language varies across cultures. Flexibility and awareness are essential. Chapter 5. Micro-expressions, brief, involuntary facial expressions that reveal hidden emotions. Characteristics, last less than half a second, automatic reveal. Genuine feelings, applications, useful in negotiation, therapy, and relationships. However, context matters, avoid overconfidence. Ethics remain important. Chapter 6. Voice, tone, and speech patterns. Words carry content, tone carries emotion. Components: pitch, volume, speed, rhythm, pauses. Emotional indicators rising. Pitch, excitement or anxiety. Rapid speech, nervousness, strategic pauses, authority. Cultural interpretation varies. Improving vocal control increases credibility and persuasion. Chapter 7. The science of eye contact. Eye contact builds trust and connection. Psychological impact signals confidence and strengthens rapport. Neuroscience and evolution activates bonding responses, historically linked to dominance or threat. Guidelines: maintain eye contact, 50 to 70% of conversation. Avoid staring. Show empathy toward those uncomfortable with eye contact. Chapter 8. Personal space and touch. Personal space zones. Different distances signal intimacy, social interaction, or public context. Violating space causes discomfort. Cultural variation. Distance preferences differ across cultures. Touch can communicate comfort, authority, or affection, but consent and context are essential. Chapter 9. Cultural context in reading. People behavior must be interpreted within cultural norms. Culture effects. Eye contact gestures, emotional expression, personal space tone. Adaptability prevents misjudgment. Chapter 10. Lie detection and signs of deception, common indicators. Body language contradictions, micro-expressions, pitch changes, defensive posture. No single sign proves deception. Look for clusters and compare to baseline behavior. Avoid paranoia. Chapter 11. Emotional intelligence and empathy. Components of EQ: self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, empathy, relationship management. Understanding yourself improves understanding others. Chapter 12. Personality types and traits, trait frameworks, introversion versus extroversion, openness, conscientiousness, agreeableness, emotional stability. Recognizing traits reduces misinterpretation and improves prediction of behavior. Chapter 13. Reading people in relationships and love, signs of attraction, eye contact, mirroring proximity, warm tone conflict, signals withdrawal, defensive posture. Tone shifts. The goal is intimacy and honest communication, not control. Chapter 14. Improving your people reading skills, practical steps. Observe carefully, practice active listening, study expressions, reflect after conversations, develop mindfulness. People reading improves with consistent practice. Chapter 15. Influence, leadership, and success. Effective leaders. Detect morale changes, adapt communication, build trust, inspire emotionally. True influence is based on understanding, not force. Final reflection. Read People Like a Book presents human behavior as a system of facial, vocal, spatial, and emotional signals. It teaches observation without assumption, cultural sensitivity, emotional intelligence, ethical responsibility. The ultimate message is connection, not manipulation. By understanding people beyond words, we become more perceptive, compassionate, and effective. I hope you enjoyed this summary of Read People Like a Book. If you found it helpful, check the link in the description to get the full book. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more book summaries. See you in the next one.